Brief history of the Bethlehem Steel Plant in Lackawanna, New York. My thanks to Hamburgtown historian Jim Baker's research and his article in the Hamburg Sun dated September 20th, 2007. The history of the local Bethlehem Steel Plant can be traced back to October 20th, 1903, when the Lackawanna Iron and Steel Company began producing railroad rails at the world's newest and biggest steel plant, located at what was then part of West Seneca, known as Limestone Hill. It had all started about 1899 when the Lackawanna Steel Company, based in Scranton, Pennsylvania, began looking for suitable land for the construction of a new plant. Attracted by the cheap land on the Lake Erie shoreline south of Buffalo, the company began secret negotiations to buy the property. Eventually, the steel company was able to buy about 3,000 acres of land for $2 million, or about $667 an acre. The plant took more than 3 years to build, and it is estimated that more than 2,000 men worked on its construction. Many of the laborers hired during the construction period were newly arrived immigrants from Poland, Hungary, Italy, and the Slav countries of Eastern Europe. Early reports on the construction stated that the project might be abandoned because of the difficulties that could not be overcome. However, progress was made, and the first boatload of ore arrived on September 1st, 1901. The first blast furnace went into operation on February 13, 1903, and the Bessemer furnace and rail mill began production on October 20th. The Limestone Hill plant prospered for the next decade and a half, and a city named Lackawanna grew up around the mill and was officially incorporated in 1909. During World War II, the plant turned out some 4.5 million tons of steel, but hard times began for Lackawanna Steel after the war. The steel and coal strike cut 1919 profits by 60%, and by 1921 the profits had dropped even more drastically. It was at that time Charles Schwab, former trusted executive under Andrew Carnegie at the United States Steel Company, and also the operator of the Bethlehem Steel Company, purchased the Lackawanna plant. It was May 1922 when the plant became part of Bethlehem Steel. Although the plant was considered run down and obsolete by most experts, Mr. Schwab considered it a valuable property. The purchase price was $60 million. Under Bethlehem ownership for the next 60 years, the plant went through a series of ups and downs, modernizations, and cutbacks. But it remained one of Buffalo's area's key industries and largest employers until about 1978. In that year, the company announced significant production cutbacks and cut employment to about 8,700 people. Although most people didn't believe it, it was the beginning of the end for the sprawling Bethlehem Steel Plant on Lakeshore Road. In June of 1983, 61 years after the once converted facility had become part of the Charles Schwab steel empire, it was all over. Thousands of men and women walked out of the gates, never to return. Still capable of producing steel, the plant no longer could generate sufficient profit. It had become, according to the steel industry experts, the victim of poor financial calculations coupled with benign neglect. Now, on a more personal note, I remember many years ago there was a sign on the Bethlehem steel fence. It was about 4 feet by 20 feet, and it held just 2 words: help wanted. Bethlehem hired people of every race, nationality, people with little English and people with little education. For many, their first sight of the United States was the Statue of Liberty. There is a beautiful poem on the statue that says in part, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Send these, the homeless, tempest and tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." For many, the golden door was the gate at Bethlehem Steel. Thousands got their first paycheck at Bethlehem Steel. Some stayed until retirement, others left to further their education and became our policemen, firemen, doctors, lawyers, and business owners, and government officials. The list is endless. Where is the monument to say, "Thank you, Bethlehem Steel"? Bethlehem, who made our country great. Their steel is in buildings all over the world. Their railroad rails expanded our nation. Their steel helped win our wars. Let's build a monument to show our appreciation. Let's raise enough to build a true memorial for our golden door. My name is Patrick Mellody Sr., and I want to thank Bethlehem for providing for my family and my father before me. God bless America.